Hello बच्चों, set of information is 6 candidates were to be interviewed for a job between 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Each interview lasted for half an hour and interviews were conducted in 3 different rooms. No room had the same number of candidates and each room had at least one candidate for the interview. And in total, the number of candidates in room 2, 3 and 1 were form an AP. Now up to this, we have to form a table, and before finding the person who is in which room, we need to find that how many people are in which room. We are given that the number of candidates in each room is different, so that means the only possibility to divide 6 in different numbers, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3, and this actually forms an AP. 1 plus 1 2, 2 plus 1 3. That means it says that in room 2, room 3 and room 1, in this form it forms an AP. So that means in room 2 there is one person, in room 3 there is 2 person, there are 2 persons, in room 1 there are 3 persons. So from here we get to know that the number of people, so there will be 3 people in this, in room number 1. In room number 2 there will be only one person, and in room number 3 there will be 2 people. Now we need to identify which person is in which room. We are given candidate 2 and 4 were not the only ones to be interviewed, so that means they're room number 1. So that means there are more than 2 people, that we already know. So that means there is 2 and there is 4 and one other person is also there, that we will identify. Next we are given candidate 3, 6, C6 and C5 were the first to arrive in their room. So that means they must be interviewed at between 10 to 10:30. So here we know that there is 3, 6 and 5. Now further, C1 arrived after C5. So that means C1 and C5 must be in the same room. That is only possible if they are in room number 3, because they need 2 places, and in room number 1 there is only one place vacant, in room number 2 there is only one place. So that means candidate 1 and 5 must be in room number 3. C1 was not, sorry, C6 was not in room number 1, that means C6 must be in room number 2. So candidate 3 must be in room number 1. Now we know that candidate 3, 6 and 5 arrived at the very first, so C3 must be in room number 1 and at 10 to 10:30, then C6 in room number 2 and C5 in. Now after C5 there must be an interview of C1, and but we have no information about out of C2 and C4 who is interviewed when. So we can say that if C2 is interviewed at 10:30, then C4 must be interviewed at 11, or vice versa. If C4 is interviewed at 10:30, and then C2 must be interviewed at 11. Now we will solve the questions based on this. Another question is C1 was interviewed at what time? So we know that C1 is in room number 3 and is interviewed at 10:30 to 11. So that means option B is correct. I hope you understood well. All the best.